Welcome back to another video from Crunchy Collectibles. Hope everybody's enjoying collecting out there. So today we're looking at those two Stranger Things pieces made by Iron Studios. They're 110 figures. Of course, Vecna's pretty big because he's a pretty big character in the TV show. If you have not seen Stranger Things, I recommend going out there and watching them. There's 4 seasons. Yeah, should be 4 seasons. They're making a 5th, which should be the last, from my understanding. Amazing TV show. You know, first season when it came out, I watched it the year it aired. Didn't know what to think about it before I watched it. After I watched it, I was like, yo, it's a pretty good show. Second season is probably my least favorite. Third season is really good. And then this last season with Vecna, my God, amazing season. So both of these pieces, each one will come with a little stand, which is pretty nice because Iron Studios normally don't do that. I don't think they charge, the prices on both these pieces were pretty good prices. And that's before I even knew they came with these little stands, so it's a nice little bonus. Probably because, it's a Netflix piece and Netflix want to be a little different. Which I wish, they would do some Castlevania and stuff like that from Netflix, since they got the Netflix license. But moving these pieces out of the way, let's look at 11 first. I figured I'd do both pieces in one video just to save time. Mainly my time, but your all's as well. So on the back of the base, you got the door. Pretty good. Not glass. Well, I think it's a hard plastic, but it almost feels like glass. But it's not, you can tell. Then you got 11 herself, which is actually pretty good. They did a pretty good job making the portrait. Not 100%, of course. 110, never gonna be 100%, but pretty good. She's pretty bloodied up. Kind of wish the blood was more vibrant, but you can tell it looks more like if the blood was like already soaked into her clothes, more so than just like a recent blood splatter, which may be accurate with the scene. Can't really remember how recent the blood was. And of course, you got her hands coming out. They're the 110 piece, so her hands are pretty small. I do like how they added the nosebleed on her face. They did a pretty good job. Let's spin it around, take a look at the back of the door before we look at the base itself. So the back of the door, you have the doorknob, you got the glass, and then you got like the little veins or the little vines, whatever you want to call them, just kind of wrapping around the door as she's in the upside down. So let's take a closer look at the bottom of the base. This is pretty unique. It's kind of hard to see without a flashlight. And you guys probably heard my knees popping. That's how old I'm getting. I'm 24 years old, but yet I have a body of like a 40-year-old. So you spin this around. If you're familiar with the show, when they're in this like different dimension or different world, it's considered the upside down. So everything's exactly the same as it is in the real world, just a lot darker. I guess I shouldn't say exactly the same because a lot of it looks to be destroyed and stuff. So this is considered the upside down, which is pretty cool because they got like buildings and stuff underneath it. That's something Iron Studios did not have to do, but they did it anyways, just to, add extra representation to it. Of course, there is two editions. This is the deluxe edition, I believe, which is more the kind of like a little bit of higher up. The basic edition does not have this upside down. The base is just right here. And I actually don't think the door is even on the basic edition. I think it's just a stand with the 11. 11 portrait is practically the same as well, just to get a nicer base. So moving on to the show, the highlight of this whole entire season, Vecna. So Vecna came out really well, and here's my hand in the background just so you can see how big this piece is. What makes it really big is all this around him. And of course, the base is gigantic as well for a 110. So let's move in closer with Vecna himself first. So you got his head. Oh, there we go. Let me just kind of zoom in there. His eyes are all white. Pretty scary dude, I ain't gonna lie. We'll look at the back here in a second. So we'll just kind of make our way down from the front. Did a pretty good job differentiating or making a difference between the dull colors here and then the real glossy, shiny part. Here's his hands. His left hand is about twice as big as his right hand. His right hand looks to be about a normal human. His left hand has the claws coming out, which I like. Now his body is pretty gross looking. Just kind of makes you want to throw up just looking at it. And I do like how they make him like floating. See that? His feet touching nothing there. And we'll look at the bottom of the base here in a second. It's exactly the same as 11's. Just a little bigger. He's got a little bit more buildings on it. Here's that clock. If you're familiar with the show, this clock plays a very important part. With Vecna and the way he kind of controls people or gets in people's heads. Really good detail. And here's one of the parts that shows Vecna being held up. Is this part right here, which is kind of scary. I mean, it's really not a whole lot holding Vecna up. Spin it around. Okay, and here's the back of Vecna. Very glossy, really good job. So you got, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to put together. Not too bad, it didn't take very long. It was just kind of complicated at first because Iron Studios does not come in the instructions. So you have this piece holding them up. You have this piece, which comes in here as well. Then you also have these pieces right here that buckle in. So a lot of different pieces that you got to put together kind of all at the same time. It was kind of hard without some help, but not too bad. And I do like how he has his pieces around his neck. Kind of just, ugh, gross. Just kind of coming out, you know, nothing between them. Pretty cool. And then the back of the base, the bottom. They did a really good job. So let's look at the bottom here real quick again. So on Vecna's, it's practically the same as 11's. So there's 11's, there's Vecna's. So he's in the upside down, of course. So this here's the real world. Shows the upside down. If you watch the show, you're very familiar with. If not, hopefully those pieces will get you interested in it because the show is amazing. I ordered both of these pieces from Collector's Zone, a wonderful site. The prices scare people at first because they see a price and it's more expensive than a Sideshow, for example. But yet he includes shipping and tax included with his price. It's all one flat price. There's nothing added to it at checkout. And then if you join his membership, it's a free group on Facebook called the Cantina, Collector's Zone Cantina. He'll usually drop a couple codes, a couple times a week. And then you can take 20% off your whole entire order, pre-order or in stock. A lot of times he'll do special discounts just for in-stock items. So yeah, it ends up being a little cheaper than Sideshow, all in all, and plus he has rewards as well. So let's take one final look around Vecna's head, just so y'all can see those. Yeah, it's nasty head. Kind of gross. I mean, if somebody walks in my house and sees this piece and has no idea what it's from, they might kind of look at me twice, give me a sad eye, wondering what I'm doing with this piece. Now you got his nose effects. But yeah, good job for Iron Studios. I don't know why I want to call them Sideshow today. But good job on Iron Studios on their paint job on both these pieces. Fantastic. I usually don't give Iron Studios a 10 out of 10, but I think with Vecna, it's a 10 out of 10. I mean, they just did fantastic with it. Difference between down here and then you go up into the upside down, how it changes. Same thing with 11. Vecna's a 10 out of 10. I say 11 is probably a solid 9.5 out of 10, which is pretty good. I mean, it's probably a 9.5 out of 10. Of course, don't forget, you got those 2 little pieces here. You don't have to display if you don't want to. Or if you do, you can just kind of put them anywhere in the back, front. I mean, shoot, you can probably even put them up here somewhere. Like that if you wanted. Do I recommend that? No, but you could. So yeah, thank you for, watching the video. I hope this, encourages you guys to watch Stranger Things if you have not. I'm assuming most of you guys have. Otherwise, why would you be watching this video? Unless you're just interested in seeing how it turns out. But yeah, enjoy your day. Enjoy collecting. Enjoy your summer.